Cults are all around us and we are all susceptible to them. So, how do we recognize when we are being pulled into the influence of a cult? It is difficult to realize when it's happening. One very helpful book I stumbled across is Amanda Montell's book, Cultish: The Language of Fanaticism. I became interested in cults after reading Murakami's 1Q84, where a very sinister cult takes center stage. Montell's book is part academic and part journalistic, a little like Malcolm Gladwell's books. It is accessible. She does not define the word cult, but instead looks at the language used by cults, which she calls cultish, as in English or Swedish. She starts by exploring the types of cults we all know about. The suicide cults of the People's Temple. Remember Jim Jones and the Jonestown Massacre in Guyana. And the UFO cult, Heaven's Gate. I confess that I read this with a prurient interest. In her book, she goes on to explore the hallmarks of cultish language, the setting up of an us and them position, where a common enemy is identified and referred to, often with a derogative nickname, and members are safe belonging to us, using code words and exclusive terminology that only cult members understand. They are part of an in-group, and loaded or coded language both draw them in and alienate them from outsiders. There is also the use of what Montell calls thought-terminating cliches that kill off debate. Think of "get our country back," or "that's just the way it is," or "too late now." Cult leaders are often authoritative white men. Think politicians who can lie and misdirect an entire country for their own advantage. Or some religious leaders. But it also includes self-help gurus, social media gurus, gym or yoga classes, and most insidious of all, what she calls multi-level marketing companies. As the cost of living crisis kicks in, I get many Instagram feeds on side hustles, which turn out to be relational or network marketing, which promise the world. We're all susceptible to them. It is not because we are not educated, intelligent people, but we are optimists. We want to find charismatic people to believe, to lead us into a land of milk and honey, to make our lives worth living and have meaning. Montell's book is really fascinating and worth a read. There are some cults that do serious damage, where we cut ourselves off from our family and allow ourselves to be controlled by others, often at great financial and emotional cost. There are other cultish type activities that just lead to wasted time and money, false hopes, false thinking that takes years to unwind from. I hope that by reading this book, Cultish by Amanda Montell, you can gain a little more awareness of how language can be used to manipulate, and in so doing, you can protect yourself and those you love. So, here we go. If you like this, please subscribe. And by the way, this channel is not a cult. Well, I would say that, wouldn't I?